you. Our next speaker is Mr. Larry Shaw, subject budget reduction, board policy.
Distinguished members of the board, Mr. McCulloch, I speak for over 4,000 UEA members in the Arlington ISD. UEA just finished a study of the amount of money that the districts put forth toward the instructional purposes of its budget, and you rank second out of 34 districts around here. That's good. That's very good. And now we're about to cut it, as many districts across this area and across this state are going to do. Mr. McCulloch, I'm proud of you, because you didn't go to Austin telling them to cut salaries, furlough teachers, raise averages, when they, as many other superintendents did, only to realize their salaries would be the first ones cut, because you do have to lead by example, Mr. Hibbs. Austin has $830 million in stimulus money that was given by the federal government this past year. If only they could stop having political arguments with Washington. It has another $9.4 billion in a rainy day fund, and I don't know how hard the thunder has to roll and the lightning has to strike before they realize it's raining. What we're asking them to do is spend some of that rainy day fund. And if that's not enough, look at resources, not only for education, but health and welfare and the other things that's supposed to make this the Texas century. Folks, we rank in the 40th when it comes to educational spending. Thank God for Mississippi and Louisiana, because they're some of the ones that rank less. But you know, as we ask them to spend their rainy day fund, as we ask them to raise their revenues, we're kind of hypocritical. Because you know what? This district has $115 million of spendable funds. We have $75 million in the fund balance, $20 million in the gas, and another $20 million in construction fund from 99 that can be spent on any capital project. The problem is, how can we ask Austin to do what we want them to do and fail to do the same thing here? Our schools, and this is where I disagree with Ms. Davis, our schools are not just for the parents and the students. They're for everyone that lives in this community. Because the value of a city depends upon its schools. The value of your own house depends upon the quality of the schools. Bottom line, everybody's got a dog in this hunt. I also wanted to, by the way, a 1-cent tax increase costs $10 a year on a $100,000 home. You owe it to the citizens of Arlington, like Ms. Reed said, to ask them what type of schools they want in the future. Because you don't spend a lot of money on education, and now you're about to cut it. I also want to talk about board policy DFF, which is on the agenda tonight. You have 4 criteria. One is certification, the second one is seniority, the third is evaluations, and the fourth is professional background, in that order. Let me talk about professional background. That one, by the way, is kicked off the list as quickly as it can be done by most districts. Because how do you decide someone that spent a year in Korea as a missionary is more valuable than someone spent a year fighting in Afghanistan? You can't do it. Then you move to evaluations, and everybody wants to raise evaluations above seniority until they get there. And they find out just how hard that is. We've had evaluation reduction enforcement hearings. We've probably had as many as anybody in the state. And UEA has never lost a case based on evaluations. Never lost a case. In fact, Crowley called us in last year and said, how do we get through reducing the reductions we've got to make without a bunch of hearings? And we showed him. And in fact, Stephen Poole, my deputy, and Dan Powell spoke at your AISD conference. You have a special problem as well. You have teachers hadn't been evaluated in 2 years, and then you have 2 systems, a TTAS and a PDAS, and they won't mesh. There's no clear last standing on a PDAS, and exceeds expectation on the TTAS basically was breathing. On this one, it's an act of God. One thing that's not in this budget that has to be added in is the cost of unemployment compensation. Because everybody you lay off is qualified for 99 weeks of unemployment. Now, as you lay them off, you're not going to save the money that you think you're going to save. So it's back to the drawing board on a lot of these positions. What is also not said is a lot of them are going to be handled by attrition. Don't change board policy DDAF, please.